Hey, this is Russ. I had a question that was sent to me by one of my viewers, and rather than responding to him on the comments, I'm going to answer him on a video. Now, going forward, too, if you have a question for me, and I think it's a good one, I may just answer them on video. So that's this way everyone benefits from it. Okay, I find that if I just answer it, by the comments and just type it out to you, then sometimes it's only you who sees that versus it could actually benefit the others. So if you have a question for me, just put it in the comments of a recent video. Okay, that's easier for me to find. Okay, even if it's not the same. Even if your comment doesn't match what the topic is on that video, if it's a recent video, I'll see it, okay? And if it's something that I think it's an easy thing for just answering with a reply back on a comment, I'll do that. But if it's something I think everyone can benefit from, I may just answer them on videos going forward. This gives me something to talk about too, so it's a double benefit, all right? So anyways, I'm just going to read his comment here and then I'm going to answer it. Okay. So here's what he says. He says, "Hey, Russ, you're going on 2 years for you. Actually, it's 17 months. So about a year and a half. Okay. But anyways, he says, you're going on 2 years for you and it appears that you still have issues. My question is, what have you experienced that is normal or extremely abnormal?" Now that's a good question. Right? Because even though I've mentioned things, I haven't talk too much about what I think might be totally abnormal or is normal, okay? He says, "My surgeon, after 10 to 12 months, that is where you are going to always be. Do you believe that is the case for you? You'll be stiff and in pain forever. Has your improvement peaked?" Okay. Now, he also says, "I'm still on the fence and not confident that all that TKR is the answer for me. Too many quality of life issues. I don't have 2 years to give up at this point. Surgeon says I have one of the worst knees he's seen, yet I can function pretty well and I am only in pain after working on my feet 2 to 3 hours. I really don't want to sacrifice the time I have left and I'm very close to retirement." So I think this is a really good question, all right? So let me answer his question in sequence. So the first question he had was, what have you experienced as normal and extremely abnormal? Okay, so now I already said that it's really been about a year and a half for me. And I would say the normal things that I can do now is, first off, let me come right out and tell you guys, because I do have questions like this all the time about my pain level, okay? I think the pain level, as we know knee pain, okay, if you've had a knee replacement, you know what I'm talking about. That knee pain, okay? That kind of went away after about 9 months. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can feel your knee. You've got issues that go around it and stuff. But, would you call it the type of pain that you're screaming out and hurting? And I would say no. I think I even did a video where I said I'm forgetting the pain because it's not something that I even remember how hard it hurts. Okay, when many of us say that we have a high tolerance for pain, which I felt I did too. I didn't know pain until I did this knee replacement, right? That's pain, and that's a pain that you never experienced ever before, okay? I don't have that anymore. And after about 9 or so months, let's say between 9 and 10 months, the pain level was essentially negligible. But I call the current pain that I have more of a nuisance pain. It's not the type of thing that you're screaming out because it's hurting, okay? And I could move my leg pretty well, but it's not perfect, okay? So as far as what's normal, the normal part is I don't have the pain anymore, okay? What can I do normally? Well, I can walk, but I can't walk very well, okay? And let me answer the other question part. It says, what was considered extremely abnormal? Okay. Now, that would have to be the fact that I can't move my leg very quickly, in the sense that, if I were just to sit here, and I've done this before where I've just kind of kicked my leg up and down while I'm sitting here with you guys, I can't do that fast anymore. It's slow, okay? So in that sense, I would say that's abnormal. My walking is abnormal. Now, some of you have seen me walk before in other videos, and if you look at it, I look like anybody else walking. But that is short amount of walking, okay? How long did I walk? 30 seconds? Come on. Give me 2 or 3 minutes of walking, I'd be hobbling. Okay, now I'd have to say part of that is my own fault because I don't have endurance. Okay, and that's only because I don't do the type of exercises that I need to get the endurance. I had hoped when I joined a local gym that I would be able to build myself back up in terms of strength level and endurance. But then the pandemic hit, and so I stopped going to the gym. And I think that was the thing that really kind of stopped my ability to get more endurance out of things. I need to get back on the recumbent bike more. That'll help build some endurance because we're kind of stuck in here. I don't go out much. I'm stuck inside all the time. I can't do anything outside. It's snow all over the place here in the Chicago area. So the only thing that could really kind of keep me going would be the recumbent bike, and I don't do enough of it. So I've got to go back to do that. So the abnormal part would be I can't do things like the normal person can do for a long period of time. Okay, I do feel clicking in my knee still. All right, and it's not like it's loose or anything like that. It's just that if I stand up, I'll kind of feel it and hear a little click or a little creak out of it. I feel a little bit of stinging underneath the kneecap. Okay, I'm not really sure what's causing that. But that started up about 2 or 3 weeks or so ago. I think something like that. Maybe about 3 weeks or so ago. And so I still have that. So if I move it the wrong way a little bit, I feel a little stinging on there. So I'm not really sure what that's caused by. So that's kind of abnormal, right? Now, he mentions that his surgeon says that after 10 to 12 months, you're kind of stuck where you're going to be. Do I believe that's the case for me? And will I be stiff and in pain forever? Has my improvement peaked? And the answer is, I don't believe anything the doctor tells me about that. All right. If that's what your doctor's telling you, I don't believe him. All right. And anyone who tells me that, I don't believe that either. Because think about it. Now, when Jazz came back to me, okay, Joint Active Systems, the knee brace thing that I was wearing for my extension, I was at 10 months at that point. Now, if I go based on this scenario, I was at, I had 0 degrees on both MUAs that I had done, okay, for extension. And each time when I got out of it, I couldn't get 0 degrees. I mean, I couldn't do the 130 degrees either for flexion that they got in the OR. I had like in the low 90s and the low 100s when I got out of there. But eventually, we did hit 130 after hard pushing and screaming, all right? So the extension, though, on the second time around, I was at 20 degrees after that 0 degrees that they got for me. And I worked on it myself, and the PT guys really didn't do a whole lot of anything for me for extension, and I got it down to 10 degrees, all right? I think he was happy that we were in that direction. Maybe he would have done more of it had we continued on if it wasn't for the pandemic, but we really didn't do much in the PT thing, and then I stopped PT, okay? So when Jazz came back to me and gave me that thing back, we were at 10 degrees, and I was at 10 months. I worked on that with the Jazz unit for 6 solid months, okay, and I got it down to 8 degrees. So it's only 2 degrees. Then I took a break, all right, and we decided at that point, myself and Jazz, that I should just return the unit and call it quits at that point, all right. And then that 2 weeks that I took off, that thing dropped another 3 degrees. So I was down to 5 degrees. Now, you might not think that's a whole lot. I know if you haven't had a knee replacement yet, you might not think it's much. But going from 10 degrees to 5 degrees is a huge difference in how I stand and how I walk. All right. So 5 degrees when you're at that level is a huge difference. All right. So that happened between, let's see, started at 10 months, add another 6 to it. All right. That happened at about 16 months. So if you go to the 10 to 12 month scenario that the doctor says, I don't believe it. I'm kind of feeling that I can bring that thing lower than 5. I'm still working on it, okay? So I keep putting my leg up on the desk and I keep pushing down on it a little bit. I'm not using the heavy pushing that the Jazz would do for me, but I think overdoing it might be too much too. I think 6 months of that was plenty, all right? So I don't believe what the doctor tells you. I'm proof. I wasn't stuck at 10 degrees. I dropped it in half. Okay. I think I can maybe even drop that another in half. I think I can get it down to 3 or 2 degrees. So I'm working on that. Okay. Now you mentioned that you're on the fence about this because you've got quality of life issues. I agree with that. Now, patient 9M, who we recently featured, kind of said the same thing. He's telling you, don't go in for this thing until you're ready to do it, right? Until you absolutely have to do it, because it's going to take some of your time. It's not like you can go in there and guarantee you'll be finished in 2 to 3 months. You might, okay, but then you might be like me, and it'll take you a while. So if you can still handle it, and there's nothing medically that's forcing you to go forward with this, I'd say hold off. Yeah, if you can hold off on it, hold off. For me, I went in earlier than I needed to. I'm a little abnormal in that sense, okay? Because the doctor told me you don't need to do this right now. He was trying his best to tell me not to do it, okay? But I told him I wanted to do it because it was a convenience for me at the time because I had closed my company. I had the time to do it. My health was in the best I probably had been in a long time. My weight was down. There's no diabetes. There's no high blood pressure. There's nothing. Even my cholesterol is perfect. Okay. So when I looked at that, I says, this is probably my best time to do this. So I want to just do it and be able to walk like normal people. Now, unfortunately, I'm not walking like normal people, and it took me a lot longer than the 2 to 3 months that most of these people are telling you. Okay, the doctors usually tell you 2 to 3 months, but if you're in my boat, you know that's not 100% always true. Okay, so if you don't have the time to devote to a possibility that you could be stuck doing this as long as me, don't do it. Okay, hold off. If you can function, hold off. If you can't function, okay, like the pain is so bad that every time you take a step, you can't barely walk because your bone against bone is so bad, you got to go in. Okay, so I agree with patient 9M. Hold off as long as you can, right? And he was a very active guy. He wanted the quality of life too. So he's right. Hold off, right? That's my answer for both of these things, okay? So the abnormalness is I don't walk like normal people. I still hobble a little bit. Let me say this. I did go out today. My typical grocery shopping days seems to be Wednesdays. That's when all the new food ads come out, and that's usually when I head out, okay? I didn't use my cane today, okay? And here's the reason. Snow is melting in Chicago right now. The weather is good enough that it's melting. There's no ice on the ground. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to take the cane, or it was in the car, but I'm not taking it into the store. I was fine, okay? I've been using that cane this whole time because it's winter, and I don't feel comfortable walking on potential ice and snow without a third leg, which would be my cane, okay? But no excuse today because everything's melted off. So I says, I'm walking without it, and I was fine. Now, even around the house, I'm walking around and I'm pretty fine. Okay, I don't have that much issues. But I do have the cane with me a lot of times, even in the house, because if I go up and down or stairs, I'm always with the cane because it's faster for me to get up and down. Okay, but I had to help my wife move something from upstairs to downstairs, so she carried it and I carried it, and we walked down the steps with it. She went backwards on the stairs. Okay. But I couldn't use a cane to do that. I couldn't hold the railing to do it. I got down there with okay, I wouldn't say without a problem. We went really slow, okay. But so the abnormalness is, yeah, it's there. It's not normal walking or anything like that. I don't have that endurance level. I don't have that strength level. So that is the stuff that I don't have. And I think I can get that back though, if I would just put more effort into the exercising. I'm just working right now with bending my knee, getting the extension well. That's what I'm really concentrating on. I'm not really concentrating too much on endurance, and I think that's my own fault. So I've got to get back onto the recumbent bike and do it longer. I do have a treadmill. I never mentioned that to you guys. I do have a treadmill that's downstairs, and my wife uses it. I don't, and the reason is because there's a weight limit on that treadmill. I would hit the maximum weight limit on it because I am overweight, okay? So I don't go on it, and I also have a bad right knee. So I know that if I were to walk on that thing, I wouldn't last more than a minute or two because my right knee would start hurting then. Okay. So, but the recumbent bike is easier. There's less stress on me because I'm sitting down, okay, and just pedaling. So I've got to do the recumbent bike more just to build up some endurance. All right, that's enough for today. Anyways, if you liked the video, hit that like button, hit the share button, and again, give me questions in comments on videos, even if it's not the topic of the video. And if it's something I think is worthwhile, I will answer them on a video, and so that everyone can benefit. And if it's just a simple question, I'll just type the answer to you on the comments. Okay? All right. I thank you guys. Talk to you next time.